Welcome to Fat Cat production of News with a View. It is February 5th, 2025. Yesterday we did not have a program. I was tired, and yesterday, folks, I was sick. And I had a fever for about 10 days, going back and forth. And last night, at about 3:30 in the morning, the fever broke. And for the first time in about 2 months, I really feel good. I really feel good. It's been tough. And I've gone from using actual towels down to tissues. So everything's good there. Today in the news, it's so fluid, folks, that I'm coming on at about 2:10 doing this. Been working on this since the morning, and I've already had to delete stuff because it is so fluid. This podcast is, of course, taking news from the left and the right, comparing the facts, and then looking how each news outlet biases that information. So you, the eyeballs, get confused. And I am a conservative-leaning person. And again, you use facts and common sense. And I say about common sense, my common sense might not be your common sense. And your common sense might not be my common sense. But where we could both agree about common sense is when you take the facts and inject it into it. I keep saying, you cannot debate fact. You can discuss it. Debate fact, can't do it. Can debate opinions, and that's fine. But if the opinion is based on facts, you're going to win the argument every time. All right, let's start. This is episode 28. I've been doing this now. It's getting better. I'm getting a little bit more fluid, a little bit less hesitant on the words, though I'm old. Gotta give me a break every once in a while. It's hard for me to find the words. I'm not a very smart man. And today we're going to talk about the DNC committee. They have revamped it a bit, and it's actually extremely interesting. We will never stop talking about USAID fallout with Musk and Trump and everyone else. Trump got into a little rant about Iran, but then at the end said, hey, I want to, I don't hate them. So, and the other thing that I will talk about, because it is going to be an important issue, and it's an important issue for me coming from broadcasting, but it's also a huge constitutional issue. And I'm a Federalist, and I believe in the Constitution. That's all we got, folks. That's all we got. So when I started reading about stories about what's going on with CBS, my alma mater, I take notice, because that's kind of dangerous territory, and we have to really be careful. And we got to make sure that if you're going to do anything, that it's done right and for the right reasons, and it's constitutionally allowed. And that's the most important thing, is that if they're allowed to rewrite a news story or something to that event, I'm going to get off. I don't want to start that first. Then they can. Then, if the courts say, hey, they can do it. That's freedom of speech. All right. So we're going to go to the first topic, which is the DNC committee. Of course, they've been revamping and trying to figure it out. So what do? The vice chair, David Hogg. Now, David Hogg was a survivor of the school shooting in Florida, a huge advocate on gun, a restriction on guns, which you can have that. You can do that. This is America. You could say, I want to change. But they just can't erase the Constitution. And if you want to go in and make laws, as long as they don't infringe upon a constitutional right, that's what you can do. That's how the system works. But he is a little bit more out there. And I'm kind of shocked that they grabbed him. Now, the Democrats realized, and it wasn't the Democrats that realized, it's the liberals, it's the progressive, it's actually even the socialists and true radicals. A Democrat is not a radical. So what they realized is they lost a lot of the young votes. So they're going to bring him in and wheel him out there as the voice of the young people, Generation X. No, not even X, Generation Z. And he's going to go out there and, bang the drum because he has the digital footprint to prove that he can do this. And that's nice and everything, and that's, good marketing for the Democrats. I think this is going to blow up in their face. And, he says, we have to win back our young people. I'm the only candidate in this race for any of these positions that are under 30 years, that positions of where people are under 30 years old. And we had a 20-point shift to the right of our young people. All right? Why? Let's look at the reason why. And it isn't because of guns. And it isn't because of digital footprint. It is what the Democrats, and it's not even the mainstream Democrats. I keep saying this, and I've said this over and over again. Moderate Democrats, take your party back. Take your party back. Go to the process that worked. And that was family values, work, the workers, and the security of this country. Those are the only three things you need to win. And you just refuse to go back there. You just won't go down that road that works. And has worked. And will continue to work. Because it's common sense. And what do I say? You put facts into common sense, you'll win that argument every time. The other person might not think so. But anyone listening to it would go, yeah, And his thing is, he's raised over $11 million in the past year to support the future of his party. $11 million. Harris did that in 2 minutes. So this guy, he's really not bringing anything to the table. $11 million to the Democrats is, it's nice, but we could make that in a plate dinner somewhere. And I don't think he has the power. I don't think he has the charisma. I think he turns more people off than he gets. I did it again, folks. I left the cat in here. And I'm going to try to see if she won't come up here and sit with me during the show and be happy and not cry. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let her out. 2 seconds. I'm throwing her out. It's my fault. So, Kitty has been safely evacuated from the room. And I meant to do that before, and I got interested in reading about a story, and I forgot about Kitty. This is a guy who in 2022 had really soaked himself into some real left-wing positions. Legalizing all drugs. Any drug. Legalize it. That won't be a problem anymore, right? This is who's going to be vice chair of the Democratic Committee. Right? We're having a fentanyl problem, and he wants to legalize everything. How do you think that's going to go for you folks? You think that's smart? You think that everything the president is doing right now, and then now you have a guy go, nope, drugs for everyone. And then supporting a 100% tax rate after your first $1 billion you make. Now, he didn't say if that's $1 billion for a company, $1 billion for an individual. But after that, anything you make, you got to give to the government. I want you to use that type of logic. Even if I'm an individual making $1 billion, or 10 billion, or whatever, because it's America. Sky's the limit. I'll be taxed on it according to your tax codes that your government writes. So let's stop that nonsense. So I can only make $1 billion. Well, if I made 5 billion, I might have started 20 other companies and hired 10,000 people. But why should I do that if there's nothing in it for me? Why would I do that? So now the government's missing out on all that federal money and taxes and states and sales tax and people buying cars and houses and wash machines. Do you see how stupid that is? And that shows absolutely no plan or understanding on how the free market enterprise works hand in hand with the government, and it does trickle down. So, and with guns, he was like, I think we need to do what Australia did. Why? Why do I have to do what Australia did? And if you're okay with that type of thinking, why can't Trump do what China did or North Korea did? Right? Stupid. I call out stupid. And I said I would do that. And it's not that because it's a Democrat. It's because, wait, I'll get the Republicans a little bit deeper down in here. Stupid is stupid. You know, you could say we need universal health care. I'm okay with that. You could see him saying free college. Okay, I can see that. You know, you could make all states' schools free, and you could have private schools if you want a better education, or you think you get a better education. And here's my feeling on that. That math or chemistry or physics problem is solved the same way at a state school or a private school. Now, if you're talking about academia and being able to expand your knowledge and go beyond just learning the text and applying the text to creating the text, well, then, you know, you need a Stanford, an MIT, you know, you need these really, really fantastic schools. So, you know, he said, months later, he said he would prefer to own a Porsche than have kids, claiming it's better for the environment. This is who the DNC has picked. And I'm never planning to have kids anyway. I would much rather own a Porsche and have a Portuguese water dog or golden doodle. It's better for the environment and will never tell you that it hates you or ask you to pay for college. Think this kid has a problem? Has the DNC learned anything? This is me saying this. Seems they have now doubled down on their playlist of days gone by and failed ideas. Now, the DNC can take any position they like, but I'm going to say that many moderate Democrats will not be giving donations, and many companies will be thinking twice about opening their vaults to this kind of logic. So, as always in politics, it's money. And you can't have a voice unless you got the money to back it up. I think you Democrats are in a lot of trouble. I really do. I don't think you figured it out yet. You believed your own nonsense that Harris was going to win. And you really are up that river without a paddle. And you guys just need to take a time out. You need to take a time out. Let Trump go wild. If I was on the Democrat side, I would say just let him go crazy with it. He'll burn himself out. It will get challenged. And it will get answered and rectified. But you can only go to that well so many times where people just go, enough. I can't hear you anymore. We voted for Trump. Let Trump do it. Give him the room to fail if that's what he needs, or give him the room to succeed. But you can't have it both ways. So I have a major problem with you. Of course, Trump challenges the bedrock of American democracy. I think this came out of the AP. 3 weeks into the change of presidents, President Trump has brought in a disruption of the federal government on an unprecedented scale. Yeah. He said he was going to do that. This isn't news. Why are you only finding out about this now, folks? I said the other day we knew exactly what we were voting for. He never once did not claim that he wouldn't do this. He said it. The problem I have, and I said I'd get into the Republicans, and Trump is a Republican, as am I, is that we do have a playbook. And we do have laws and a process. Now, I think in about 80% of the cases here, Trump is on probably good legal ground to act in the manner in which he's acting. The Democrats, as are many Republicans, get very upset when mommy or daddy, in this case daddy, has taken away the allowance and holding it back because you've been a bad little boy or little girl. Congress is there to prevent mommy or daddy from using their ability to halt the allowance as a political tool. And that is very, very important. And I think the Republicans need to step back a little bit and look at it and go, yeah, can't do that, Don. Love the idea. We'll try to change that law. But as of right now, you can't do that. Except in the case of malfeasance or inefficiency. Guess which way he's going, folks? Both ways. He's doing an end run, and he's decided, you know what? Instead of throwing one ball, I'm going to throw two balls. And you might stop the ball over there, but that ball's going to get through. And when I say malfeasance, I'm saying USAID, all they have to prove is one case and then start digging back down. They already know. They already know the shenanigans that happened over there. The Republicans know it. The Democrats know it. It's going to be embarrassing. But you know who doesn't care? Donald Trump does not care. He's going to say and prove what he has been saying is correct. And we're shutting this thing down. Now, there's people saying that, you know, he can't do that. He can't give Musk the right or the power. Yeah, he can. He absolutely can. And it's not the way you think. All right? You have people like Elizabeth Warren, who she's got to go, folks. Massachusetts, she's got to go. And she's saying what Musk is doing is meddling with trillions in the U.S. Treasury via unqualified flunkies. Mm-hmm. And she knows this. in 2 weeks. She knows all this, right? This is someone who's running scared. And she should be. As with many Democrats and many Republicans, should be very, very nervous and are very, very nervous about what's going to be uncovered by Musk. Now, you can't uncover anything unless I could decipher your secret code. If you have everything in a computer and I don't have access to it, I got nothing. So, he sends in DOGE, which was the Office of Digital Services, which gets to see everything, folks. Now, they're saying that he didn't have the right to be granted access to the sensitive Treasury Department payment systems. Yeah, he did. You know who gave that to him? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. That's all he needs, because when he gets the approval, he acts in the treasurer's stay. I can't be there to do it myself. So I give you the authority to act as my eyes, to act as my ears, not to act as my hand. That I agree with. But my eyes and ears? Yes. Musk has the power to do that. So, and she even did say, I'm alarmed that as one of your first acts as secretary, you appear to have handed over highly sensitive system responsibility for millions of Americans' private data. Social Security is in private data, folks. The government owns that, not private. So let's get the wording right there, Elizabeth, huh? To an unelected billionaire and an unknown number of his unqualified flunkies. Again with the flunkies. Yeah, he has the approval. Guess what? He can do it. And of course, Ron Wyden, who, we saw him, Senate Finance Committee. This guy's a liar. Outright liar. Outright liar. And that's not just my opinion. It's a lot of other people's opinion. So, he goes, I can think of no good reason why political operators who have demonstrated a blatant disregard for law would need to access sensitive mission-critical system data. Yeah, how about the truth? How about find the truth? And you know what? If everything's on the up and up, and I'm not a believer in that too, I just want to straighten it. I'm not a believer in, well, if you got nothing to hide, what are you afraid of then? I'm not a believer in that. Because I have the rights. My rights stop that type of thinking. It's like when he goes, well, you took the Fifth Amendment. Yeah, because it's my right to take the Fifth Amendment. I have the right to stop the questioning right then and there. Because it's my right. Musk had the right to go in there to look. And if he doesn't find anything, then this was all truly a witch hunt, and you can scream up and down about it. But you know, and I know, what they're going to find. Trump said he was going to rip the scab off. Guess what? So, there are things that need to be done through Congress. And I agree with that. There are some things that they're talking about doing you just can't do without going through Congress. And I think some of those won't get approved because they're just too fundamentally conflicting. Like merge the U.S. Agency for International Development Aid, USAID, into the State Department. And the reason you had that separation was exactly for Congress can approve stuff that maybe the State Department would not or could not or should not approve. And then if you just have one system of funneling it all down, then you could have Congress approve something and the State Department go, nope. And that goes against the process. That's what I was talking about, the process. So there are reasons why this should go the way that we do things. Because in reality, those things had worked. And where AOC also wrote, the U.S. Constitution explicitly requires Senate confirmation for anyone yielding significant federal power as requirement that Musk has apparently been able to ignore via the president. No. The president has the power. Besant has the power. And that power can be filtered down, giving the authority. Musk has no power to end anything or to fire anyone. But he can tell his boss, hey, these guys need to go. And his boss can go, yep, I agree. Well, that boss could go, whoop. Yeah, I understand. Let's slow down. Let's take a look at this. Because you're over there and you're only seeing this. I'm seeing 12 other things over here, and slow down, partner. And I put in here, of course, my 2 cents, because it's my show. But, like I said, there's stuff they're doing there. No bueno. Can't do. No good. And that's the Republicans. So, I'm not... This isn't, hooray for our side. We showed you. We won. You'll do what we tell you to do. No. I told you from the beginning, this is not what this program is about. And when Warren states meddling, does she have a problem with accountability? Does she have an issue with seeing that funds approved by Congress are actually being used as appropriated? Because if that's what she's called meddling, yes, he's meddling. I agree with that. But, see the other side? Accountability. Is that such a bad thing? Same thing could be said with the FBI. I'm not out to hang anyone that doesn't need to be hung. But I won't know that. I mean, I could go out and hang all 5,000 of those FBI agents and fire them. But maybe there's only 12 of them that really did something that needs to be looked at. And the other 4,888 or 988, sorry, just need to be shown, hey, this isn't how we do things. And that, what they did got them into a lot of trouble. Now, remember that. I'm not making an example out of them, but I am making a lesson out of it. Do we have problems with that? I don't think most Americans are going to have a problem with that. And I don't think most Americans are going to have a problem to know where $4.5 trillion is spent. Okay? So, the problem that these people have, and when I say these people, Democrats and some Republican, is that when they're done looking at this agency, you don't think they're going to look at FEMA? Urban development? SNAP? Yeah. Guess what, folks? You are in for a bumpy ride. As from us having the power, all he needs is the approval of the president, who has the power to have BESET, Office and Budget Management, and Treasury Department, and everyone else. Give Musk the authority to act in their stay as a government official. Guess what? Guess what Trump made Musk? Government official. You see how that works? Now, I would have done that way in the beginning, day one. And give him a little fake badge and, But I would have done that just to cover myself. Because I can giveth and I can taketh away. See how that works? Well, that's power. Now, of course, in the news too, Trump had threatened to obliterate Iran in the event that he is assassinated by an Iranian assassin. And then the news said Trump dramatically changes his tune after threatening to obliterate Iran. On Wednesday, he said he hoped to immediately start work on a nuclear deal with Iran and expressed hope the country would peacefully grow and prosper the day after he signed an order to impose aggressive measures on Tehran and maximum pressure to deter Iran from seeking nuclear weapons. Also told reporters he's instructed to have Iran obliterated if it succeeds in any assassination attempt against him. Now, that's an assassination attempt. So if it's proved that, they did it, they don't have to kill him. They just have to try to assassinate him. But he said also he prefers peace. And he even called for the big party to celebrate it's a big party if they can come to a peace agreement and sign papers where everyone is happy. Be very willing to foot the bill for a party. He said, I want Iran to be a great and successful country, but one that cannot have nuclear weapons. Working in conjunction with Israel, he said the idea that we're trying to blow Iran up is greatly exaggerated. The president is holding the door open for negotiations. I guess Democrats dislike that. Walk softly but carry a big stick. Remember that? Remember that phrase? Remember the president that said that? I bet 90% of you don't. All right. This is the last one of the day here. And that's my emergency message. So let's look to see who is sending me an emergency message. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me do this. The FCC launches probe into Soros-backed radio station that revealed live locations of undercover ICE agents. Now, being reported by Fox. And what has happened is they've asked, not Fox hasn't asked, this is the government, but this is being reported by Fox. And it's first on Fox, just so you know. That San Francisco-based KCBS, that's just to call letters. CBS has nothing to do with it. 7:40 a.m. Is coming under fire for revealing where ICE agents were acting. So, and the ICE, I guess, made a complaint to the FCC and said, "Hey, they're giving away our locations." And this is putting our people in risk because these are high gain neighborhoods that we're going into in high crime areas, and they're giving away our location, our trucks, and so it's like a counterintelligence program that they're using. Can they do that? Can the FCC go in and stop free speech? It is a question. I would say that this license of this station is in jeopardy if they continue acting in this manner once the FCC makes a ruling, and that will go up to the robes, and that will go all the way up. Just like you do have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom of speech to yell fire in a movie theater when there is no fire. It's an issue. The radio station at the heart of their license says you have to perform a community service, you have to act in the community's interest. Now, they could turn around and say their community interest is to keep ICE away from doing their job. I don't think that would be a very good argument in the court, saying we broke the law because we don't like the law, so we don't have to obey the law or have anyone else obey the law. So we're going to help people break the law. No. I don't think the radio station would, I don't think the radio station would be able to survive that in a court. I think they might try to make that argument And the judge will just look at him and go, no. You violated your terms of your license, and I'm going to ask you again. Would you like to acquiesce and say you will not do that again? Or are you going to take the position that you will continue doing what you're doing? And he goes, I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. I'm going to have my tea or whatever. I'm going to come back in here. And you tell me what you're going to do. Because I want to hear it. Before I make a ruling here, I want to hear it. And if they turn around and go, Your Honor, we feel that this is a First Amendment right. Thank you. Boom. Yank their license. Now you can fight for it coming back. And you have every right to fight for your license and make an appeal and do whatever you want. But from 12:01, guys, you can pull the plug. And that station's gone. And that's what will happen. You can't put the police in conflict. And by putting the police in conflict, you could be putting the public into conflict. This is different than what I know they're going to go. They're going to go, it's the old, I flash my high beams to tell you the cops up ahead have a radar trap. And the cops are looking the other way and they go, hey, you can't do that. Well, in actuality, they can't. You can. There's nothing to prevent you from doing that. See, this is all messy territory. But I will tell you, if you're going to put the police who and the public in harm's way in the way they were doing it, so the FCC will hold broadcasts accountable for complying with their public interest obligations. That's exactly what they'll go in there. They'll go, it's greater than just protecting those people that you say you're protecting. You know, there's a wider responsibility. And I think that these stations might quietly just go not to do that. Now, I say this because the FCC has already touched into grounds now of going after CBS and asking for the actual transcript of the Harris interview. And that's word for word what she said, and then word for word what was edited and how it was brought back out. And I'll tell you right now, every edit session has a producer there that signs off on it, and this is what it was. This is, this is when we changed it. This is how we placed it. And that's all marked in for the archives. I would doubt very much that CBS would scrub that clean. It's just not worth it to them. They'd rather take the rap on the knuckles than have their whole system undone. I think this is a very big black eye for, everyone over there in the news department and 60 Minutes, which is really entertainment. It's not news, whatever, 48 Hours. They're all entertainment shows. It's news, but it's not news. So, so that's it. I think that the station will be told, don't do it. The station will acquiesce and go, yeah, well, we feel and we admit to no wrongdoing. We agree not to do it again, but we felt that this was, okay to do. And they'll just go, all right, fine. We agree that you're going to agree not to do this again, and this won't happen again. And, I like your morning show, so have fun, guys. And that should be as far as it should go. And again, I'm not a huge proponent of using the courts and using stuff to make people examples. But you might want to make it a lesson that everyone can look at and go, all right, yeah, all right, they got lucky. Yeah, for the grace of God, go I. We're not going to do that. So, all right then. It's going to be like not too much of a big show. We might go live today in the evening. It all depends if Alice is going to come over and do it with me. I feel like doing one myself. You can see all my show preps, 26 pages of show prep. We do show prep. And when I say we, Fat Cat. Excuse me. And if I make a mistake, if I drop out a word, if I use the wrong word, I'll try to catch it. I did that the other day. I said something and I fixed it in an edit and then realized much longer into it I did something else, and I just said, I think I said that it was approved in 2028 and it was really 2018 and I didn't catch it. But it didn't change the story or the facts other than I had the wrong date that when it happened, and of course we know it's not 2028. I do try to catch my mistakes and edit. I listen to the whole show and then I'll listen to it again because I just can't get enough hearing myself. But this way I catch things and I can put them up in little fonts, and I only put up a 5 or 8 second font. Some people have said, hey, if you're going to put up more than 3 lines, we need 15 seconds to read that all. So I understand, and I'm fixing that. That's just an easy thing, just change transition times. But I forget, I'm lazy, and my mind works at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And sometimes I just can't slow it down to 55 for you, Bob. I can't. It just hurts too much. But I'll try. With that, God bless. A lot of people out there need prayers. Please say prayers for those people. Help people if you can. Give a donation. And you know what I say. Charity begins at home. But if you can give a donation to a charity, please do. That charity will not reach out to you. You must reach out to that charity. There's a lot of scammers out there who don't care. They just want your money. So don't become a victim helping a victim. America Red Cross, Samaritan, the ones that ring the bell. You know who I'm talking about. They